What's up, man?
You may get in a conflict situation at any point in your life, and it's extremely important to know how to react in critical moments to protect yourself and your loved ones. In this video, we'll share 13 tips on how to use simple boxing techniques to instantly finish any street fight. And this knowledge will make you way more confident and dangerous person. And the first tip is actually to try to avoid the fight, because the best fight is the one that didn't happen. Be a kind person and try not to get into trouble, and only use fighting skills to protect yourself and don't start fights. But I understand that there are situations when you have no choice and you have to stand your ground and fight. And that leads us to the second tip, which is to analyze your surroundings. When you get into a fight, you have to understand where you are in the space. Take a look at the floor and see if there are some roots, borders, or ice if it's winter that you may stumble on or slip and fall. Be careful with that. Then analyze what you have behind you. Beware if there is any fence, tree, or something else. So just take a look around you and remember all that. Then we got the third tip, which is to analyze all the participants of the fight. For example, right now I am alone, but let's imagine that I walk with my girlfriend and there is one guy approaching us. Then it will be 1v1 fight where I can't go because I'm with my girl and she won't escape, for example. Then I will have to fight and I'll be aware of her and I will be aware of him. So that's one situation. But for example, we are in the nightclub and there starts a big street fight between my guys and the opposite guys. And I should know where are my people. I have to understand that, okay, there are 8 of us and like 5 of them. And I should know where is everybody. And I definitely don't want anybody behind me. And then we got the third tip, which is to analyze and compare powers. For example, when I'm in a 1v1 fight with a guy and I see that he is smaller than me and I know that I do boxing, then I will not hit him with my full force. Or I see a guy who is around the same size as I am and I know that I am still doing boxing and I can fight. So I will be hitting him with like 70% of my power. But if I'm approached by a huge fella, I will not hold back and hit him with all my might. And now I'm gonna need help of my friend for demonstrations. And our fifth tip is to control the distance. For example, I and Sergey are in a street fight and the last thing I want to do is to let him get close like this. Because from here he can hit me with uppercut, with hook, he can grab me, he can headbutt me, and that's generally a bad position to be in. So I gotta always control the distance. I can do that by simply walking off him, I can circle to the side, I can tell him, keep the distance please, and I can use my hands. And actually the sixth tip is to position your hands properly. So I don't want to keep them in my pockets, behind my back, or just hanging low. I want to keep them in front of me, and I want to show him my palms, because that will signal that I am friendly even if I had bad intentions. I will use my hands to like push off him and I will step back and I will show that I'm friendly and control the distance this way. And the next tip is to position your feet. So I don't want to stay frontally like this even with my hands, because if he pushes me I will lose my balance, if he hits me I will lose my balance. I can't really go back quickly or go forward quickly when I stay frontally or in a square stance in front of him. So what I want to do when he starts to like jump in me, I don't know how to say that, I will move my backhand here and I will extend my hands and I will say like, hey please, I don't want to fight man, I don't need troubles. Basically get in my fighting stance but without giving off my plans, so he will not think that I'm gonna fight and I will try to seem friendly. And one more good pointer will be not lock your knees. Even if you have your stance, don't lock your knees because it will make you slower move. And slightly bend them. So he gets at me, I bend my knees, and from this position I can go back fast or I can quickly start attacking him. Once you're in a good position, you should know how to properly communicate with him. So I'm in my stance, I seem friendly and I talk to him nicely, but not too nicely. I try to be confident and I don't want to show any signs of fear. So I talk to him confidently, I keep the distance and I never threaten him, because if I threaten him, he may understand my plan and attack me first. And that's not what I want. What I want is me attacking him first, and that's the tip number 9. And here are tips how you can set up your attack. For example, you stay in this position, and when he closes the distance with his guard down, usually guys walk like this at you, and when he goes at you, you can meet him with a hard combination of punches and he will fall. Then the next way to set up is to try to shake his hand, and it will look like this. Hey man, let's be cool. And here are two ways how he can act. He may try to shake your hands and you will hit him at this moment when he extends his hand, or he can say like "F off man," and he can like push my hand, and when he pushes it, I will counter-attack him. So there are two ways. Then there is another way to set up your attack. You keep your hands like this, and when he stays, you can lift one hand up and like cover his eyes partly. Not like this, but you just keep your hands, blind him, and then you hit him. When you pull this hand back, you hit him, and for him it will look like this. We stay, I talk nicely to you, and cha! And then you fall. And the last way to set up, but not least, is to ask him something. For example, you may ask, what is your name? And when he is trying to pronounce his name, he will talk, and once his mouth is open, you can hit him where his jaw is not locked, and that will deal critical damage and you will definitely knock him out. So there are different ways to set up your attack to strike first. And now let's talk what to throw and where to throw. So what I want to throw is not like one punch. Ideally is to throw short, simple combos. For example, 1-2. Or you can throw lead hook, cross. You can throw cross, lead hook. Generally, you want to throw jab, cross, hooks. Uppercuts are very situational because you won't throw it from the long range, and at the close range, you don't really want to fight. So cross, uppercuts, also cross to the body and hooks to the body once you're more experienced in this stuff. So basically combine those punches and attack with 2-3 punches, then see how he reacts. For example, you wobbled him, but you didn't knock him out, and then you may add 2 more punches. So it will look like this. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 3. And yeah, he will fall. So attack quickly and with simple punches, and don't come up with something extraordinary. And then let's talk where to hit him. Ideally is to target his chin, his jaw. Nose is very good because it will disorient him and make him bleed. But you don't want to hit his temple because that may be very critical. Then you may target his solar plexus. It will break his breathing and he will like sit like this in agony. Then of course the liver and the ribs. So there are good spots to hit your opponent at. But nothing goes as planned in this accursed world. And there are thousands of ways how things may go south. And you have to be ready for that. And now let's talk about different scenarios how you can fail your plan. So the first is when he attacks you first. For example, you threatened him and now he attacks you first. And most people are right-handed and you should expect big right overhand. And the best ways to dodge it is to basically just pull back or step back. So he throws his punch, I pull back, he falls in, and from here I can counter him. When you're a little bit more experienced, you can slip this punch. Like go to the side and attack from this angle. Or when you're like a master at this, you can simultaneously counter him. So he throws and you counter him at this moment. And that will knock him out, his lights will be off. So that was like first scenario how things may go south. When he attacks first, you should expect his big rear hand. And even if he left-handed, he will stay slightly like this and attack with his left hand. And then I will do the same stuff. Okay, the next scenario when you may fail is to miss your first punch. For example, if you started with the jab and you missed it, for example, you may go with the cross and it will be relatively safe. For example, you didn't reach him, but from here you can jump forward and you will knock him out with the cross. Don't worry about that. But if you started like with a very hard lead hook and now you're in this position, you have to exit from here. So you do a roll and you break the distance. Or you do a roll and attack him from here. So don't stay in front of him when you missed. Now let's talk if you started with your rear hand. So if you didn't reach him, but you took a step, for example, you attacked like this, 1, 2, you may continue with your lead hand. But if you were staying at one place and you didn't reach him, then don't throw this hand because it won't reach him too. So you throw, and from here you exit and you repeat, or you exit and you break the distance, and then you fight like a boxing match or a MMA street fight. So yeah, and also there are different ways how you can miss. For example, you like went over too much and now he's too close to you. You can pull him and hit him with left hand, and from here with your right hand. So let's summarize. If you didn't reach, you may go with the left hand if he is not too far, but if he is too far, you have to exit and repeat your attack. Then if you went too far, you can pull him and hit him. That is a dirty move, but that's what you want for street fighting. And the last scenario how you may fail is you hit him and you broke the distance, but he is alright, and now you have to fight. In this scenario, you want to show your skills. So basically get in your stance, move like this to scare him off, to show that you're very serious about this, and then try to do some feints. You may like make this step on him and feint and see how he reacts. And generally, usually he will flinch. He will flinch like this. For example, he will lean back, or he will shell up like a turtle. So once you know his reaction, you'll repeat the same feint, but then go with your right hand, with your rear hand. So I do this, I know his reaction, and the next time I break distance, I do this, but I step closer and hit him in his jaw, and he falls back. So basically that's what, how and where you can throw and how things may fail for you. But if you don't want to ever fail in a street fight, you have to be ready for that. So the best way to prepare for that is to learn fighting at combat sports, and I definitely recommend you boxing because it is very simple and effective. And the best way to learn boxing is with the KO Boxing Package, which is a training plan that is designed for people who want to go from a complete beginner to an advanced fighter. First link in the description. So when you followed all the steps, you have knocked him out, you have to be a good person and you have to take care of him. So when he goes to the floor, make sure that he doesn't hit his head on the floor too hard. So for example, he falls and I catch him and I make him fall lightly, because if he hits his head off concrete, he may never wake up, and that will be very bad for me. So take care of him when he falls. And once he is on the ground, you have to check on him. So see how he reacts, if he feels bad. If he feels really bad, you better call ambulance. And if he is okay, you may just leave. Now you have all the needed information to finish any street fight in seconds. So it's time to put in the practice and go through this sequence with your friends step by step and practice it. Also, go to a boxing gym and refine your fighting skills. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe and hit that like button. That is it for this video. Thanks for watching and stay sharp.